Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again today, and welcome to A Turn of Events, where we help you put a positive spin on your business. I'm Annette Naif, CEO and Creative Director of Naif Productions. We are a strategic event production company based in New York City. We specialize in corporate, social, nonprofit, and weddings. We are also, another thing I do is coach event planners on how to start an event planning business. So if you are looking to do this, I am just now launching, we're going to be doing a free workshop, a 4-day workshop with lots of information. I'm going to share the 30 years of my experience. And if you'd like to get into the group, go to Event Planner Society. It's our Facebook group. We're going to post it in the chat for you to go in there and really, it's just going to be event planners who want to take their business to the next level, or they're just starting their business. So it's going to be a lot of fun, lots of information. I'm just going to be giving you so many things. So today I'm super excited about my guest today. She is amazing. She talks a lot about mindset, and I am all about mindset. I was just talking to my cousin today about that, and so hopefully she's watching. But Darnyelle Jervey Harmon, she is an award-winning business growth speaker and strategist of Incredible One Enterprises. Darnyelle is a 7-time best-selling author, which is just amazing. The creator of 5 powerful business systems and the host of Leverage Your Incredible Factor podcast. And we're going to talk about breakthroughs in your business and all about mindset. So let's welcome Darnyelle to the show. Hey girl, how are you?
I'm good, Annette. I'm excited to be here. Hey everybody.
Hey. So I'm just so excited because, mindset is, listen, I feel like it's almost everything. You know what I mean? Like you can, work your fanny off in your business and you can have all these contacts, but if you aren't in the right headspace, it's just not going to happen. And that has helped me so much to pivot my business right now with everything that's happened with COVID and the event industry. So why don't you, I said a little bit about you, but why don't you talk more about where you started, how you got to where you're at, and a little bit more about you?
Absolutely. So again, I'm Darnyelle, and I always want you to know 3 things about me. Number 1, I love God with everything that I am, and I do not apologize for it. And while I will not take you to church, I will talk to you about spiritual principles and how to leverage them to get everything that you're supposed to experience in this abundant universe. Number 2, I love business. There is nothing that gets me more excited to help people to make more money doing what it is they love. And I think that the gateway to business is the mind. I say all the time that until you work on the 6 inches in between your ears, you will not fill 6 figures or more in between your fingers. And I'm all about you feeling lots of money in your life experience. And so that's what I want to help people do. I love helping entrepreneurs and small business owners really connect messaging and marketing to sales systems and strategies so that they scale to 7 figures and beyond in a very short period of time. And I'm excited to be here.
That's exciting. And I love all of that. Show us the money. So here we go. All right. So let's start with 3 things that are stopping entrepreneurs from getting to their next money milestone in their business.
Yeah. So the first one is mindset, which we've been talking about. Most people, and I say most because there's that, that small percentage of people that have done this work that are not still dealing with this, are still showing up as adults, but they're the 7-year-old version of themselves, right? So we come into this world as clear vessels of light. We come in here as abundant beings, and then we meet our parents. And I'm not trying to say that our parents, were the worst ever, right? But I think our parents did the best that they could with what they had. But what they gave us was lack. And so they've tainted our experience with abundance by teaching us about lack, by teaching us about fear, by confusing us. And then we grow into adults who are still living the definitions that our parents gave us about money, about fear, about lack, about our ability to do. And we're trying to navigate entrepreneurship, but it's really still our inner 7-year-old that's keeping us trapped in a mindset that never served us, was never ours. We inherited it from our parents. And so the first thing is mindset. And it could show up this way. You could be in your business knowing that you offer a great transformational result to your clients, but you're not charging what you should be charging for it. And your struggling month in and month out to make ends meet inside of your business, but you're delivering an amazing result and outcome to your clients, and it's just not lining up.
Right.
It could be that you are over delivering, like you're giving a ton. Like, I'll use your industry as an example. So as an event producer, I mean, you probably had, when you were doing live events, different packages based on all of the things that you could do, right? And that, imagine giving them everything that was in your top tier package, the carte blanche of event production for the price of your bottom program.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are doing that. They're over delivering, giving all of them everything that they have for pennies on the dollar. And it's because they have a lack mindset. They don't believe that they deserve to earn at a level, and they don't believe that they deserve to have clients that are paying to get access to the things they have. So my mindset is number one. Number two is messaging. Most people don't know how to create a compelling parallel between the problem they solve and the solution that they offer for the clients that they want to serve. And what we fail to realize often is that people in pain are actively seeking a painkiller. And so if your marketing is not based on their pain point, it's going over their head.
Right.
And when you aren't marketing to the pain, then you are not opening up an opportunity to solve their problem and have them pay you whatever it costs in order to access the solution. And then the third mistake is the sales conversation, and not recognizing that the sale does not even start until you get an objection. Most people, they hear an objection and they say, okay, well, I'll follow up with you, instead of taking the objection of what it is. It's a clue into what's going on in your prospect's mind, whatever they need help working through, so that they can get to the other side and say yes to themselves through what it is that you offer. So whether we're talking mindset, messaging, or the sales conversation, if you don't correct these three mistakes, you will prevent yourself from being able to hit that next money milestone as easy as possible.
Wow, that's great. So 1 is mindset, 2 is messaging, and 3 is sales conversation. And it doesn't happen until after the rejection happens. So I think that's so true. It's, you think, anytime I'm in a sales conversation, they're all like, oh, this is great, this is great, and this is great. And then all of a sudden, you get a no, and it's like, well, let's talk about this. What's the block? What's holding you back from moving forward? And, you kind of have to work through those and then get them into the mindset, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So how do you know if you have a busted life, and what is a busted life?
So I have this Darnyelle-ism. You can't have a booming business when you have a busted life, right? And so most people, when they think about a busted life, they're thinking the obvious, like they've hit rock bottom. But a busted life is any time in your life you're out of alignment, then your life is busted, right? And what is alignment? Alignment is complete order and flow in and through your vessel out into the world. And so if there's any stoppages that happen in the flow, that's a misalignment. Like I said earlier, I'm a God girl and I love using spiritual principles. So I'm going to make this about God, right? And whether you say God, universe, spirit, or source, it's all good, because God is the creator of the universe. He is the source of all things that is good, and his Holy Spirit is infused in all of us every single day. Okay. So regardless of how you refer to God, the creator of this universe that we live in, most people struggle with being able to see themselves the way that the creator sees them. If you saw yourself the way that the creator saw you, then you would be in alignment. Because let's just think about that for a second, Annette. If you saw yourself the way that God saw you, would you agree that you would be confident?
Sure.
Right? Would you agree that in that confidence, you would show up in strength and power in your business?
Absolutely.
Right? And then you'd lead people to the result or outcome that they are desiring on a consistent basis, right?
And there'd be no fear.
And that was the fourth thing I was going to say. And there would be no fear. Anytime you're experiencing fear, you have a busted life. You're out of alignment. Anytime you're not charging what you deserve to be charging for the service that you render, you are in a busted life. Anytime you are backing down from an opportunity to tell people how you can help them, you're living a busted life. If you go out to a restaurant and you don't tip, you're living a busted life. Like, a busted life is anything that gets you out of the flow of abundance, because abundance is your birthright. And so how do you know you're living a busted life? You can feel it in your body. If you are paying attention to yourself and who you are, you can feel it. It could masquerade as tightness in your shoulders, right? It could be a knot in the pit of your stomach. It could be a really light headache that you have. All of these things are signs that you're out of alignment, because when you're in flow, everything is flowing. There is nothing stopping you from being who you were created to be.
Right.
And so what it requires for all of us to do as human beings first, right, as spiritual beings having a human experience, is to make sure that we are tapped in and tuned in to who we are and whose we are. We're all here on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose, to do work that helps other people solve their problems, to get them closer to their purpose. Right. And once we understand that, whether we're talking event planning or interior design or life coaching or running a Dunkin' Donuts, once we understand who we are and what we are here to do, and we can show up fully and flow to that on a consistent basis, we are no longer living a busted life, and we're putting ourselves in a position to experience the bountiful boom that we should all experience, because we were created for abundance.
Right. And I think being authentic is a good place to be.
Absolutely.
Trying not to be somebody else is just not going to work, and that's going to block your flow. Even simple things of working out every day, eating right, trying to get the sleep that you need, that centers me. I work out every single morning. I drink a ton of water. It really helps me when I'm feeling stressed, or I get up and I walk around and get away from the computer. I'm in front of it all day, as we all are right now, especially. But just those things, taking care of myself will also, and then you also have to take care of your mind. That's super important with the mindset. So how do I shift from having a busted life to a booming business?
You know what, Annette, you basically just answered the question. Everything you just said are the things that you do to get yourself back into alignment. Okay. Everybody has to find their own practices, right? Because there are tons of different practices. Some people meditate, some people work out, some people drink a lot of water, some people take walks, some people spend time out in the sun. You got to find your way to get back into alignment. Body, moving your body. Like, I'm like you, I get on the treadmill every single morning, even when I don't want to. That 30 minutes is my way of loving on my temple and keeping my body in flow. Exactly. So I do it even when I don't want to, right? Moving your body, aromatherapy, praying, meditation, reading scripture, any of those things, listening to music and dancing. Yeah. Music is actually the fastest way to shift your alignment. It's the fastest way, because as soon as you hear the music, the frequency at which most songs are created on does something to you subconsciously. And so it easily begins to move you in the direction if you want. And you get bonus points if you're listening to a song that makes you feel happy and puts you on a trajectory to laugh and feel light and free. Any and all of those things work. The cool thing about alignment is that it has absolutely nothing to do with your business and everything to do with your business. Because it's not a marketing or sales strategy, but making sure that your body, your vessel is in authentic flow is the key to make sure that you can actually show up and do what you need to do. Like, just imagine if you were going to produce an event, you didn't work out, you didn't stop and meditate or pray or do whatever else was part of your self-care practice every single day. There's only so long your vessel is going to be able to show up for the people that you need to show up for. Right. That's why the flight attendants say secure your mask before you help those on the journey with you. Right. It's all about doing your inner work. It's the inner work that produces the outward transformation. Right. And we all have to do it, and we all have to help our clients to experience it, especially based on what's going on in the world right now. No matter who you are, everybody needs to understand this skill set of mindset and helping people get out of their own way, because there's so many distractions to keep our minds flooded with anything but the positive things that are going on.
That's for sure.
So easy to get caught up in all the negativity right now.
It so is. And people will feel that energy. I take on people's energy all the time.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody's down and I feel that right away, I try to, pick them up. So I always try to give the positive energies, and that's going to flow on to others, and they're going to feel that. So I think that's super important. Even when I coach event planners, I say to them, you have to be positive. You have to show the energy. If you're like this and you're like, yeah, I'm an event planner, I can help you with your event, no one's going to want to hire you.
Right.
You are like the biggest cheerleaders of all. Of course, I was a cheerleader, but that's
me too.
Everybody's like, oh, I knew that. But so you just have to really like exert that positive energy, and it's going to go off onto others. So how does faith and alignment play a part in growing your business?
Yeah. So in my opinion, businesses that have a spiritual foundation go much farther faster. It doesn't matter what your faith practice is. You have to be a person who believes that there is something bigger than yourself, right? Yeah. I know business is a numbers game, and I can look at the numbers and I can tell you whether we're going to hit the goal for the quarter or not. But I can also tell you that the numbers have the ability to shift based on my faith in something greater than myself and my belief and confidence in myself. And so I created something I call the model of financial and spiritual abundance. And it's basically four components in the model that really help people to get their business to where they need to go. And so it starts with connection, and connection is about your connection to the creator, right? So however you align and connect with the creator, that is where you draw your confidence from. Because in my opinion, there's no way you cannot be confident if you are in connection with the creator. It just doesn't work that way. There's no way you can know God and not be confident. And so whenever a person says, yeah, I know God, I love God, but I struggle with being confident, I'm like, you don't really know God. That means you're not seeing God in his fullness and understanding who he created you to be. He created you to be a powerful vessel. All of the answers are inside of you. So connection gets us confidence.
Just to go on that piece, how would you start to do the connection? Just something simple. If someone isn't connected, how would you start? Whatever that looks like, whatever their beliefs are, what would you suggest that how they start?
I would probably select journaling. I think if a person already has a faith center, they probably pray and or meditate, right? Because meditation is still prayer.
Yeah.
But if that's not where you come from, I would start with the journal, and I would open a journal and I would write, who am I? And I would wait to see what comes back. You're going to start with surface responses, and then you're going to move into going deeper, right? On the surface, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a business owner, right? And then it's going to go deeper. And the more you ask that question, so that's one way you could do it. Or the other is you can ask yourself why, right? So you can say, why am I here? And your first answer again is going to be surface, to help people plan events. And then you're going to ask yourself why again. And then you're going to say, because I really enjoy helping people interact with people. And then you're going to say why again. And then you're going to say something like, because I believe everybody needs community. And then you're going to say why again. And then by the time we get to the fourth why, Annette, it's going to start to get personal to you. And then you're going to say something like, I'm making this up, but this could be true. Something like, because when I was a young girl, I was alone a lot, and I didn't have people to play with, and I didn't have time. And I said that when I grew up, I wanted to make sure no one ever felt like I felt when I was a little girl. So we start to get to the real reason why we are here. And once we get to that place, we begin to move ourselves into an opportunity to get closer and closer into alignment with our purpose. I don't believe that purposes are, I think that they are discovered, like you discover it over time. It's a journey, not a sprint. And it continues to unfold. You continue to come into a deeper understanding and a deeper level of your purpose. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same purpose, and that is to help other people and to make this world a better place, right? That's the surface of everyone's purpose. Right. And then it goes deeper beyond that. And how we show up and do work is contingent upon how we interact with that grand purpose of helping other people and making the world a better place.
Right, right. Okay, so that's number one, connection to the creator. Go ahead. What's number two?
So after we get into connection, then we look at our confidence, because again, I don't believe that you can be connected to the creator and not be confident about who you are and what it is that you do and bring to the table. Most of the entrepreneurs that I work with are women, right? Probably about 90% of my clients are women, 10% of men. And interestingly, on both men and women, I see a challenge with confidence. It's different. It shows up different, but they both question whether or not they can really pull off what they say they can pull off. Right. And so whenever you're questioning whether or not you can do what you think you can do, I think it goes back to being connected to God, because when you're connected to God, you'll be able to see yourself the way that he sees you. And once you start deepening that connection, that relationship, I'm not talking about religion. This is not about going to church. This is not, no, seriously, it's not. It's about individualized relationship with God for yourself. That's why I said earlier, it doesn't matter whether you say God, source, universe, creator,
Right?
Because he's all of those things and so much more, right? But it's about your own personal interaction, your own personal way to connect with him, to know that you know that you know, just like you know that your name is your name, that what you've been given to do on this earth is the thing that you do better than anybody else who does it. I just imagine, Annette, because I'm just meeting you, but had I had an opportunity to attend one of your productions, I know that it would have been absolutely amazing.
Well, you have to come to one of them.
I will. Once the world fully opens back up, you count me in. Absolutely. Especially because I'm only in Delaware, so I'm not far from you. Exactly. But I just know that about you because of who you are and because of whose you are. Yeah. So there's never any question about how well we do what it is that we do when we are in connection and alignment. We don't question those things.
Right.
And once we have our confidence where it needs to be, then we're ready to position ourselves to spread the word about what it is that only we can do to solve the problems for our clients. I don't care how many other people out there produce events.
Right.
There's something about the way that Annette does it that creates this amazing experience and response for not only the clients, but also the attendees or participants every single time. Yeah. When you're confident, you can use your messaging and your marketing to position that in the marketplace. You can say that buoyantly, and you say it with no problem or improvisation. Like, you are not afraid to let everyone know that an Annette Naif event is the only type of event you should participate in. Just like I have no problem saying that when people come into my space, they not only make more money, they transform their life. I know that that is what happens because I'm confident, and I'm confident because of my connection to God. So I can position myself in the marketplace as the only and obvious choice for my most ideal clients. And that leads me to 4, which is profitability. When I'm well positioned, then I will start to make way more money doing only what I love for the people that I've been called to do it for, and I'll be able to do it with consistency. So connection, confidence, positioning, and profitability.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you talk about, how I want to do events for people, I just get excited because I know what the outcome's going to be for them. I know that we're going to create an amazing experience for them.
Yeah.
We're going to meet the goals that they want to meet. So, listen, when I first started my business 10 years ago, I've been doing events for 30 years, or more, but I stopped counting after 30. But when I started my business 10 years ago, I was not confident because I didn't know how to run the business.
Yeah.
So I did every single thing I could to figure out how to run the business. I wanted to hire a coach, but there were no coaches out at that time, that nobody would help me. They felt threatened, which I thought was ridiculous because there's so much work out there that not every, there's there's a lot of event producers out there, but they can't do all the work. Right. So once I got my systems down, and once I knew what I was doing, and I had a coach that helped me, and once I had that, there was no stopping me. And it's just going to take trial and error. Listen, I fumbled in the beginning because I had no clue. They would ask me questions. I'd get a client on the phone. I was so nervous, but I would get them on the phone, and I didn't have answers. I didn't know how to present myself and how to do those things. It took some time to stumble. And I remember the first person that came on and said no in such a nasty way. Like, this is not what I asked for. and it was what they asked for, but I didn't present it properly. But I'll never forget that person. And it just, it makes you stronger, and it gets you to that point of being confident. You just have to keep doing it. Even now, if there's a really big event that I want, and sometimes I get nervous, that's normal. That's going to happen. Even if people who are been on stages hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times, if you don't get a little nervous before something, it's probably, like they say, when you're nervous about something, there's a big breakthrough about to happen.
Absolutely.
So remember that. So that's super important. So those are great, great tips. Okay. Why do people need breakthroughs in order to have $1 million business?
Well, you know what? There's two things that I think are really, really important to say here. The first is there's a lot of people who want, like deep down inside, they want to generate at the 7-figure level, but they don't have the courage to say it out loud. So because they don't have the courage to say it out loud because of mindset or whatever they believe about money.
Right, because money's a big deal in
right.
You talked about your parents and money and all of that, and I was laughing.
Exactly. So
my parents were 17 and 18 when they had me. They were babies. They had no idea about money or mindset. I mean, they barely knew what was going on. So money's a big deal. Yeah,
absolutely. And so it's all based on the way you see money. Because I look at it this way, and this is today. This is not when I started this journey, because I used to struggle with money as well because my parents were drug addicts. My mom went to jail. Listen, if you name it, and I experienced it.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of work to get to the point where I was able to see money for what it really is, and that's just an energy.
Right.
It's just an energy, right? It's a transactional currency. We give it way too much credit. We put way too much time, energy, and focus on it. But the fact of the matter is, people don't want 7-figure businesses because they have a mindset with money that is lack-based. Because I don't understand why, if you could have a 7-figure business, you wouldn't want one. It gives you the ability not only to have whatever the things are that you desire, but it gives you the ability to help.
To
change the world, right?
Right.
Oprah and Bill Gates wouldn't have schools in Africa were it not for money.
Right.
Like, it just puts you in a position to be able to actually be the change you want to see in the world. And who wouldn't want that? Because again, every single one of our purposes are to help people and to make the world a better place. So the people who don't want a 7-figure business are the people who still have issues and mindset problems that they need to work through. Because if all things considered, all of the money was the same, why wouldn't you want to be generating at a level that never had you having to wonder or lack or question whether or not you would be able to do anything that it is that you want to do? Right. So the reason people need a breakthrough in order to get their business to 7 figures is because most people are grown adults, but they're still living as adults based on their childhood relationship with money. And until that gets changed, they won't have the big breakthrough that will allow them to make more money. There was a point in time, probably 2014. No, not 2014, 2013 was when I really started to understand money in a different way. I was doing my own live event. And at the live event, we made an offer for people to enroll in our program. And we had about 38 people or so sign up for the program of the 78 people that were in the room. So we were really excited about that. We generated $400,000 in sales.
That's great.
The revenue that we took in was about $85,000. And I had never in my life before had $85,000 all at one time. Yeah. Now, I worked in corporate America where I made $120,000 a year, but that was in every 2-week increments. I never at one point in time had $120,000 in the bank. Yeah. So I remember when we cashed out the event, and all of the cash was in the account, I withdrawed it all. I took all of the money home, Annette. I put it on the bed. I took all my clothes off and I rolled around in it.
Oh my God.
And the reason I did that is because it was the first time that I realized that I could have an unlimited supply of money. And I needed to know what it felt like, because I clearly knew what it felt like to be broke.
Yeah.
I remembered layaway. I remembered all of that stuff, right? But I had never experienced that kind of money. And I needed to become, I needed to be, I don't want to say become one with the money, but I needed to neutralize the power that I had given to money up until that point.
Right.
The way for me to neutralize it was to actually roll around in it and to realize that I did this once. That meant I could do it every single month if I wanted to. I had to give myself the power and the position to change the way I saw money. Because up until that point, I saw money as an occasional payday. You got just enough to pay your bills and maybe to get yourself something nice. But it was never enough for you to have some left over for you to really do life-changing things with.
Right.
But once I started changing that definition, you know what happened in that? I started calling more money in.
Right.
And so we went from having $80,000 in cash to having $100,000 in cash, to having $150,000, to having $300,000 in cash, all at one time because I opened myself up. Right. I believe that exposure creates expansion. Once you've been exposed to a new normal, you expand the capacity for what it is that you can take in. And so that's why people need a breakthrough to have 7 figures, because they haven't been exposed to it. It seems like this big, arduous, arbitrary number that no one can actually accomplish. If you look at the statistics around small business, roughly 1.53% ever cross 7 figures, according to the 22 million really small businesses in the country, right?
Right.
Only 1.53% ever generate that kind of money. Most people don't believe that it's possible for them, let alone probable. And so you need the breakthrough to show you that it's possible, and then to be able to walk out a strategy that makes it probable. And that's what Breakthrough in Business is all about. That's the live event that I hold, that I'll be holding October 21st through the 23rd, helping people to shed all of the limiting beliefs around money and their ability to take their business to whatever level they want their business to be at. Because the sky really is the limit. God is not holding anything back from any of us.
Right, right. Well, it is interesting that, I try to tell people this all the time, because that's one of the things, one of the niches we have is, these coaching events where you make an offer and you make money from them. It's a very big deal. You can make a lot of money from an event. I tell people that all the time. So I think it's really important to think about that. And obviously, I'm so happy that you're doing that. And obviously, if you need help, let us know. It sounds like you got it under control, but we're always here for you. Okay, so how do you expand your mind to have the power to speak things into existence? And I was just writing this to my cousin today, because she was like, everything goes wrong. I'm so sick of it. And she does this all the time. And I love her to death. But at the time, start saying all the positive things that are happening to you. Start writing the positive things that are happening, because that's going to manifest it. That's what's going to bring upon. And I do this. I have to do the same thing. We all know what to do, but we're all human, and sometimes that
absolutely.
So yeah.
You said it perfectly, right? I think most of us are used to making what I call casual covenants.
Yeah.
Casual covenants are those I am statements that don't serve you. They're the lack-filled statements. They're the doom and gloom statements that we're so used to saying, because we wake up in the morning and the first thing we do is we turn on the news. The first thing we do is we grab our phone and we check Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Instead of taking the time to center ourselves, connect with God, and set a clear intention for the positivity we want to usher into our day. So if we would stop living into the negativity and do exactly what you said to your cousin. Speak what you wish to see.
Exactly.
Speak over yourself until you see what you said. I say all the time, you have to see it. You have to speak it until you see it, so that you get to experience it. And it starts with what happens here. Everything is mindset. We said that earlier. Everything is mindset in that. But you literally, when I first wake up in the morning, when I'm consciously awake, before I get out of the bed, I spend time in visualization. I see myself producing whatever. So I have rough idea of what's happening on my calendar that day or where we are in the month. And I literally sit there and I see myself accomplishing it, right? Like we set a really good big goal for the quarter, and the quarter ends next week. And so I literally see myself crossing the finish line at the goal. I went and I checked our numbers today. We've already hit our goal, which we got a week left, right? A week to spare. We've already hit our goal, but I spend time first seeing myself doing the things, experiencing the things that I truly desire in my life experience inside of my business. If I want to bring on new clients, I see myself signing on new clients. I literally see it first, and then I grab my journal and I write it out.
Right.
So see it here first, then write it out, and then speak it. That's the third step. Say it out loud, because when you speak it out loud, you actually get the universe moving in your direction to bring it to you. Right? There's a scripture in the Bible that says life and death is in the power of your tongue. So speak what it is that you seek, and speak only what you seek. So if you speak, it's tough out here and I can't ever, then you will never get whatever it is you said. Speak only what it is you seek until you see what it is that you said. And so that's what people need to do. That again is another reason why we do Breakthrough. I used to do an event that was a marketing and sales event, and it was a powerful event. We could get 300 people to come every single year. It was really, really powerful. And I switched gears a few years ago because I realized that most people don't need more marketing and sales strategy. They need a reckoning with their mindset. And so instead of teaching more strategy, which just creates distraction for most people, I decided to do the work on the limiting beliefs that are keeping them from taking the strategies they already have and getting those strategies to work. And so it's all mindset, and it all starts with how you start your day. The first 20 minutes when you wake up are the most important minutes on any single day. Spend that time intentionally, setting a vision, expressing gratitude, setting intentions about what it is that you want for your day. Doing all of that in the first 20 minutes, put your day on a trajectory to experience growth that'll be unparalleled over and over and over and over and over again.
It's so true. And that can go with relationships too. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're constantly saying, oh, she's a jerk or he's a jerk or you always visualize that you're going to fight or you're going to do this. If you start visualizing a happy and healthy relationship, it's going to change. That helped me. I did the same in my relationship, and it's definitely helped in our relationship. So it's such good stuff. Oh my God. So, all right. What's the difference between desire and wanting something? How does that play a part into manifesting the things that you want in life?
Oh yeah, this is good. So I always tell people, again, I just said a few moments ago, to watch what you say, right? Using the word want denotes lack. It means something is missing. So when you say you want something, it produces a vibration that is at a very low level. And we don't manifest what we want when we vibrate low. We manifest when we vibrate high. So instead of saying what you want, you have to change it so that it is emotionally charged. And the best way to make it emotionally charged is to turn it into something you desire. So what do you desire? Desire says, I want to add this to my life experience, not because something is missing. Because as soon as you want it, it's lack. It's attached to lack. It brings lack with it. It's going to follow. Lack is going to follow all around. But desire springs up an energy of abundance that says, we want to bring her more of this specific thing, because it's going to allow her to do what it is that she desires and what we need from her out in the world even more. So you want to, wherever you use the word want, change it to desire. Or speak into things you crave. Like women get cravings when they're pregnant, right? And maybe other times, but we know mostly about cravings when a woman is pregnant, whether it's pickles and whatever. But a craving is also, it's a word that vibrates higher, because there's an energy draw, a positive energy draw that is associated with a desire or with a craving. There's a negative energy draw that's associated with a want, because that means something is lacking. And typically people associate the fact that something is lacking with there being something wrong with them. And that's why their energy goes down. So use only positive energy words, because that allows us to vibrate and to bring that into our life experience as quickly as possible.
Right. It's so good. So good. Okay. So what are 2 things I can do to break out from the things that are keeping me from what I desire?
Yeah. So the first thing we've talked about a lot of things. So let me give you 2 different things. And the first thing would be to create a plan. Like, what's the next step you need to take right now to bring what you desire into your life experience? Ask yourself that question. What is the next step I need to take right now to bring what I desire into my life experience? So write that down. And then the second thing would be to actually take the step. Take the next action that you know to take, right? I always say God will give you more while you're moving than he ever will when you're standing still. So don't stop and wait for God or the heavens to open, the bush to burn, or the rivers to depart. Don't do that. Instead, keep moving.
Right.
Take consistent action. We have to give God something to bless. And the thing is, we all know the next step. We all know the next thing we need to do. That's why you only do the next step. Just like a GPS. We program the ultimate goal or destination into the GPS. It only tells us the next one step at a time. So when you know your ultimate goal or transformation, you're also given the next step that you need to take. Take that step, and then the path will emerge as you walk it.
Right, right. So good. And if you guys have any questions for Danielle, please put them in the chat. So because we want to make sure we get all the answers out for you, because this is such good stuff. Okay, so after you break through in your business, how do you keep your mindset strong? That's like a big thing. Absolutely.
I say all the time that just like you wash your behind, you have got to wash your mind. It's every day. Every day you've got to do work. Like you said earlier, Net, every day you work out every day. Every day I work out. Every day I'm in my journal. Every day. So it's just like anything else you do that you know you need to do every single day. You got to work on mindset every single day. Mental health, which mindset is a way. It's just like you strengthen your body. Like you don't do one crunch and then have a 6-pack, right?
Yeah.
So you can't do mindset work one day and have a flawless mindset, because the stinking thinking, the gremlins, or as I call them, your inner incredible snatcher, they're going to keep popping up.
Yes.
Right. And if you only did it once, you only worked it through once, then you're not going to be strong enough to thwart it so that it doesn't take you off track and distract you and disrupt you from what it is you're supposed to do. So every single day, you're going to have to work on it. That's why you need to create your own morning routine or ritual, whichever word works best for you. Practice whatever it is that works best for you and start your day. One of the things that I do after, so when I'm consciously awake, I first say, thank you, God, for waking me up, because I know that there are people who didn't wake up, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I immediately move into visualizations, and I see myself doing the things that I desire in my life, in my business every single day. After that, I grab my journal, I express my gratitude. And it could be 3 things, 5 things, it could be 20 things. It just really depends on how grateful I'm feeling in that moment. Mm-hmm. I do that. And then I immediately get out of the bed and I go get on the treadmill. I get my body moving. And while I'm moving, I continue to speak life to my life. I can continue to pray and have commune and conversation and time with God. Once I get down off the treadmill while I'm drinking water, then I set my intentions for the day. This is what I'm going to do today. So I come in my office and I know exactly what it is that I'm going to be focused on and what are the things I'm going to be doing. I do all of this every single morning. I also have this, I don't know what to call it, but it's this statement about myself that I wrote. Okay. It's like my future self, if you will. And it's like, Darnyelle Jervey Harmon is the world's leading spiritual business growth strategist, helping entrepreneurs go from 6 figures to 7 figures. And I wrote it in third person. And I literally read that every single morning to myself. It talks about, the houses that my husband and I will live in, where our kids will go to school. It talks about the causes that we donate to, how much money we donate each year, like all of the things that I want to manifest in my life. I literally speak that over my life every single morning.
Yeah. And that strengthens your mind.
Absolutely.
In a positive way, right?
Absolutely.
Mindset, which I'm not good at that. I'm going to have to, I love that we're doing this, because I'm going to have to get a little bit of a ritual. I have things I do, but I feel like I should do a little more mindset and thinking more about, as soon as I get up, because, of course I grab my phone and that's not good. So, and that just takes you down a whole nother.
Yeah.
But okay, so can you give some examples of things that could get in the way? I'm sure we could all think of those, but of having a breakthrough,
The people that you live with could get in the way.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things is you start growing towards your next level, and the people that are doing life with you aren't growing at the same pace. So they try to talk you down a level, try to get you to stay where they are. You could start, if you aren't constantly doing the mindset work, you can start to second guess whether or not you're doing it, right?
Yes.
Experiencing a no, depending upon this isn't I say all the time, no one goes to bed a blunder and wakes up a wonder. So what I mean by that is it's a journey, right? It doesn't change overnight. And so you could wake up in the morning, do all of this stuff we're saying, set your intentions for the day, and go into your office and get the biggest no of your life.
Yeah.
So what? No just means next opportunity. What it really means is that whatever, they were not ready to experience transformation through you.
Right.
And if they're not ready, you don't want them.
And maybe you weren't ready for it either. Right.
Exactly.
So it could be that it wasn't meant for you to take it at that time. That's how I think of it sometimes. And after I get over, feeling sad about it or upset about it, I do think, okay, so I'm going to get it, but it's going to be at another time. It's going to come. Doesn't mean I'm never going to get that. So it always happens.
Absolutely. If it's meant for you, it will happen. But the timing, we put too much emphasis on timing, right? Timing is relative. Right. And so you have to be open to that in order to make sure that you're getting what you want. And that's why it's so important to figure out what the process it is that you need to utilize to get what it is that you desire, and then spend time doing that every single day. You need to be your number one priority. Your business does not, even your spouse, that is not priority number one. You and your connection to God are priority number one. That's why the flight attendants say when we get on airplanes, or when we used to get on airplanes, wear your mask before helping those on the journey with you. Right. You got to take care of yourself first in order to make sure you have what you are requiring in order to be who you're supposed to be at this particular time in your life.
Exactly.
Do that first and then see who you can help. Right. And so those are the types of things, if you don't stay on an inward journey, that can prevent you from getting your breakthrough. That can derail your breakthrough. And that's why it's so important to do it, that you do that internal work and you set yourself up on a trajectory to do it on a consistent basis.
Yeah. So my boyfriend has a place at the shore and I visit there on the weekends, but I come back to my home in the city, my office, and I work every week so that I'm not distracted and I can focus on my business.
Yeah.
While he has a beautiful view when he's on the water, I have to stay focused on my business. And so I make the conscious effort to come back into a space that I know I'm going to be able to create wonderful things for my business. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And I have to do that, even though I would love to just, leisure and stay around and all that. But so, you have to kind of, be disciplined about that stuff. So was there a time in your life where you were on the verge of a breakthrough in your business? What happened and how did you break through? So I know you talked about the event and how that was a big breakthrough for you, but I'm sure you have lots of other examples.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them. Actually right now I'm on the verge of a breakthrough. I realized a few months ago, I had actually before I hired a new life coach, I realized that I had some lack residue in my life.
Okay.
And so I am, I'm being called to a higher level to show up greater in the work that I'm doing, and even to do some other work that I never thought I would be doing when I started my business 13 years ago.
Right.
And I got a little scared.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And I realized that I was playing really small, really small. And so I said, okay, I know who I am. I know whose I am. I know that I'm supposed to be showing up at a different level. Let me get the support that I need to do it. So why am I even sharing this particular story? Because none of us can do it by ourselves.
Right.
We need support. And so I went and I got someone to help me so that I could work through what was in the way, causing me to play smaller than I'm supposed to be playing right now in the world.
Right.
I've been hidden in a lot of ways. I've just been over here beingthebomb.com, and whoever knew about it, but was not telling the world because I didn't want to get too big and have too many people know.
Right.
That this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. And this is me sitting inside of a 7-figure company.
Right.
If you have a 7-figure company and you're supposed to have an 8 or 9 or 10-figure company, you're still playing small. And so I literally hired a life coach to help me to work on my mindset so that I could not play small, because I have people who are counting on me. I have clients who also want to get their businesses to the 7-figure mark that hired me to help them to get there. So I can't settle in my small place, because I was created to take them to their space of significance. And so I had to be willing to humble myself and become the student and let somebody else help me, because I can't do it for myself. You can't do it yourself. If you could do it yourself, it would already be done. Yes. But that's why coaching and counseling and therapy and all of these different modalities work and were created, because we can't get to the results on our own entirely. And so I'm excited that I was courageous enough to humble myself to go get the support that I needed so that I could show up as big as I'm supposed to show up in the world.
Right. Same for me. I teach, and I have this, I teach event planners on how to start their business or, kick their business to a next level. And I have been putting off this online program, which is, it just never felt right. I was busy. I had all kinds of excuses, events. And now this year has obviously slowed down a little bit, although we've gotten very busy with virtual events, which is fantastic. Yeah. So we've had to, shift our business and do lots of virtual, which is great. But I get the fear too. I know in my heart, and I love helping event planners start their business without making all kinds of costly mistakes, because you don't need to spend a lot of money to start your business.
Right.
But I have so much to offer and so much knowledge, and I know all that. And I know I'm going to do some great things with this program, but it scares me. It does. And so because of that, I take my time filling the Facebook group. I take my, I'm doing it though. I am doing it this year, but I'm taking a little bit more time than I normally would. Doing this program that I do here is a big step for me. That was getting in front of a camera, which I hate. I'm a behind the scenes girl. I don't like being in front of a camera, but I love it now. And I get to meet and talk with amazing people like you and help others in their businesses. And so I think it's great, and it gets me out there. And you have to be, you have to be visible. You have to talk about what you do. You have to talk about who you help, what you do in order to help them. So I think it's great, and that's just amazing. So we have a couple questions, if you can stick around for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So Mike's asking, how does mindset and business go together? And I think we probably touched on that.
Yeah, so mindset is everything. Mindset isn't just in business. It's in every area of your life, right? And so, but it impacts every area of your life. So in your business, to make it specifically about business, Mike, let's say you have a goal. And let's say your goal is to take your business to the $500,000 mark or the $1 million mark. It doesn't matter the mark, right? But you're not there right now, and you desire to be there, right? Immediately upon setting the goal, the first thing you're going to meet is fear. Fear is immediately going to pop in. Yep. Fear is actually an indication that your next level is loading. So you want the fear to show up. But immediately what happens is you say, 7 figures? Oh my gosh, I can't do that. If I do 7 figures, I'm going to have to pay too much taxes. People who I love are going to start asking me for money out of the woodwork. I'm going to have to become more responsible. Like, you give all of these excuses or reasons as to why you can't actually hit the goal that you desire to hit. Right. And then you don't even work towards the goal. So you don't adjust your plan to do $1 million because you've talked yourself out of it. So mindset is everything in your business. The formula is this. We make a thought. I want to do 7 figures. After we make that thought, we're immediately moving to feelings and emotions, right? So either we're excited that we just set this 7-figure goal, or we're terrified that we just set this 7-figure goal.
Yeah, exactly.
After the feelings and emotions, we start speaking. We move into the words. So then we start saying things like, oh, I don't know if I can pull this off. I don't even know anybody who pulls it off. I don't really need 7 figures. I really just need 5 figures and a Twinkie. Like, whatever it is we say to ourselves to justify why we're trying to back out of the first thought that we had.
Right.
And after the words, we start taking actions. But instead of taking actions that get us to 7 figures, we take actions that get us to right where we are right now. And then we get the results. And then we look at our results and then we're pissed. And we blame it on someone else because we think that the man was the reason we didn't hit our goal. But the reason we didn't hit our goal is because our mindset got terrified when we set the goal. That's mindset in business. That's why you got to do the mindset work, because every goal you have will be thwarted if you don't work the mindset that tells you you deserve it and you are worth doing what it takes in order to experience what you desire to have. So that is why, Mike.
Mike, I'm so glad you asked that. And you've talked a lot about goals. So it's important to set goals, right? I mean, yeah. I'm kind of guilty of not doing that as much as I probably should. So I think that's important to set goals. All right. So Kathy says, how does impact and income play a part in having a growth mindset?
Yeah, definitely. So impact is the number of people. Or, well, you know what, let me say it this way. Impact is the size of your ripple, right? If you take a stone and you throw it in a pond, it's going to pucker, right? There's going to be a little ripple. The larger your impact, the bigger your ripple. The larger your impact, that means the more people you are helping, the more money you're going to be making. Zig Ziglar said it best. He said, if we help enough people get what they want, then we will get what we want. And so impact is what we have people chase, because it's interesting. You can make more money without ever chasing it. And the way you do that is by chasing your purpose or chasing impact. Being impactful, doing things that change the lives and the trajectory of the lives of the people that are in your sphere. And when you do that, people will invariably be willing to invest in themselves through you, i.e. signing up for your programs in order to get to the impact that you can help them to experience.
Right. So good. So good. And then our last question, if you guys have any, this is the last chance, so get your questions in. Suzanne asks, how do you pivot your mindset to prepare for an increase in your life?
Ooh, this is a good one, Suzanne. So I would say probably 3 things is what I would recommend that you do. So number 1, I would say you want to speak. I'm going to use the word affirmations, right? But you want to speak consistently over yourself that you deserve it. Just that. I deserve it. I deserve it. Or I'm worthy. Because I think one of the biggest things I see is people questioning the big thing because they start to think that maybe they don't deserve it. And it's that inner child going all the way back to the first or second interaction you ever had with money. And it usually isn't a positive one.
Right.
And being asked by the adult or told by the adult that you don't deserve it, you have to earn this, or whatever the case might be. And then that bubbles up in you, this feeling and belief that you have to do something extra in order to deserve it. When the truth of the matter is you were born deservant. You deserve it right now, right? That's the truth of the matter. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you need to do after you start speaking over yourself is live into it. So I always tell people, get one example or replica that is a reminder that you deserve it. So I have this water bottle. It says next level everything.
Yes.
And this, for me, is a reminder that I am working towards my next level of everything in my life. So get a physical representation of your next level so that you have a constant reminder that you do deserve it and you are worth it. And it doesn't need to mean anything to anybody but you. So I also have this on my desk. So my husband and I are trying to conceive.
Aww.
And we have not been successful as of yet. So I went out a while ago and I bought each of these pacifiers. I don't even know if we'll give our baby a pacifier, but I have one.
Oh, you will.
Mine is purple. This is blue.
You will be
sitting here as a reminder that I deserve it. Right. That I desire to be a mother and I deserve to be a mother and I'm worthy to be a mother. And this is holding the space until I'm holding my baby. So get a physical representation of that as a reminder to yourself every single day that you do deserve it and you are worth it. And then number 3, I've said this a lot, take the next action you know you should take to bring your next level into view. Just do the next thing that you know you should do. So if you want to hit the 7-figure mark in your business, and right now the way you're charging, it will take you 1,000 clients to be able to make it happen, raise your rates so that maybe you could do it with 100 clients.
Right.
Do something that is demonstrative to the fact that you believe in yourself to desire and actually experience what it is you say you're wanting at your next level.
So good. So good. I just love you to pieces. Thank you so much for doing this. So how can everybody find you? I know we have some links here, and I think you're offering a free gift. Can you want to talk about your free gift?
Absolutely. So the free gift that I posted there is our Incredible Factor worksheet. It's an opportunity for you to get crystal clear about what makes you the bomb.com in the marketplace, which makes you the only and obvious choice of your most ideal clients. Regardless of where you are in your business, you need to know what your incredible factor is. Once you know that, then you can go on a trajectory to actually scale that to whatever your next money milestone is. On all social media, I'm Darnyelle Jervey Harmon. So you can find me out there in the world. If you want to connect with me deeper, then go and get the Incredible Factor worksheet at darnyelle.com/Incredible Factor.
And she also has Incredible Factor podcast. So you want to join her over at her podcast. Thank you, Darnyelle. It's been so wonderful. I really appreciate you doing this. And I know you've helped so many people with this. So thank you again. And
pleasure.
I'm just so excited to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.